What's up everyone? Tedrick85 here, and today I'm going to be talking about the U.S. Women's National Team and their 3-1 victory over Australia yesterday in the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup up in Canada. Now, it probably goes without saying that the U.S. was considerably favored over Australia, considering that they had never lost against them. As a matter of fact, the U.S. had more wins going into this game against Australia without losing to them than any other opponent that they faced. If I'm not mistaken, they were 22 wins and 2 draws, 0 losses. So, right off the bat, that kind of put a little bit of pressure on them to perform well against this team. And I gotta be honest, I'm so happy that they were able to win this game, but in actuality, it actually turned out to be a rather forgettable game. You know, it's definitely one of those games in which they definitely could have played better, especially in the first half. You know, it seemed like Australia was controlling the pace of the game. They were quick on the attack and that, and even with Megan Rapinoe's early goal, Australia was able to get a quick equalizer on them through a Lisa Devanna goal. But yeah, once the second half came along, the U.S. started to show why they're so good in that. But this serves as a good learning experience. I know they got a new manager in Jill Ellis and that, and there's still a bit of a learning curve there. But even though this performance wasn't as great as what people may have wanted from the U.S., it definitely was good enough to merit a win. And as far as the MVP of the game, I know people are inclined to say Megan Rapinoe because she scored 2 of the U.S.'s 3 goals, especially that second goal. That was awesome. But to me, the MVP of the game was Hope Solo, especially in the first half. She was able to keep the U.S. in the game without Australia getting too carried away. You know, there's that period of time between the 20th and the 40th minute where Australia was just controlling everything, and without Hope Solo, it could have been a very ugly game. And say what you want about her, I gotta admit I'm not the biggest fan of Hope Solo, but she definitely deserves to be in the starting lineup, and she definitely showed why she got called up to the team and that, and she was definitely equal to the task of what Australia was able to smack at her. And it kind of reminded me of Tim Howard a little bit when he played in last year's World Cup for the U.S. and that. He's pretty much a backbone of that team, and it looks like Hope Solo is going to be the backbone of this team. Especially if the U.S. kind of has a wobbly first half like they did against Australia. Now, it is worth noting that the U.S. is in a group of death. Not only did they play Australia, but they're going to have to play Sweden, who they play next, and they're also going to have to play Nigeria. Now, the second half of the game, it seemed like the U.S. started to get more consistency on offense, which is going to be good against Sweden, because I don't know if you guys watched the Sweden-Nigeria game at all, but Sweden's defense leaves much to be desired, particularly their center backs and their goalkeeping, especially their goalkeeper. I didn't think that she had a good game at all, and I think it's definitely something the U.S. forwards can definitely exploit. And I definitely think between Abby Wambach and Alex Morgan and Sydney Leroux and all those other players that they have, especially Amy Rodriguez up front for the U.S., I definitely think they can take care of a shaky goalkeeper and Swedish goalkeeper. I can't think of what her name is offhand, but yeah, I definitely think that Sweden should be a much better for them in terms of offense and that. That's not trying to diminish anything of Sweden because they still are a solid team. It's just based on yesterday's performance. You can definitely tell where there's a bit of confidence lacking there. And another thing the U.S. should be aware of too is how they're able to allow all these counterattacks from their opponent, and that could especially be dangerous against a quick team like Nigeria. Like, I couldn't believe how fast they were yesterday in their game against Sweden, and that they were able to get those 2 quick goals early in the second half, and they were able to equalize in the 85th minute in that game. So it's definitely something that the U.S. is going to be aware of. This isn't me trying to say that the U.S. is not a very good team or anything. It's like I said before, there is going to be a learning curve with a new head coach and that, but this is a more than experienced team. They've been in every single World Cup so far. They've advanced to at least the semifinals. in each of the 6 World Cups so far. So I'm very confident that they're going to be up to the task against a more well-rounded team like Sweden and even a quick team like Nigeria in that. But I think this game is going to serve as a learning experience for them in that. And there's definitely areas they can improve on, but a team as experienced as the U.S. ladies, I definitely think they're going to get the job done. And I still expect them to top the group in that, and I definitely expect them to get to at least the semifinals in that. So I think once they get out of group, I think they're going to get a good bearing on things, and they're able to take on some of the better teams. But yeah, it was a mixed bag of emotions I had for the game last night. You know, it definitely could have been better, but it was definitely good enough for the 3-1 win, and I definitely think they deserved that. And besides Hope Solo making save after save in that, but Megan Rapinoe was a force to be reckoned with on offense, and as she scored 2 of the U.S.'s 3 goals, she made the I know this is gonna sound cliche, but she did all the little things that mattered, besides the big things, and she was definitely a prominent role in the U.S.'s ability to come back strong in the second half and that. And another thing to watch out too is see how Abby Wambach bounces back from this, because she missed at least 2 clear-cut chances to score yesterday, which luckily it didn't matter because they ended up winning anyway. But that could be a huge problem later on in the tournament, especially if they get deep in the tournament, such as the quarterfinals and that. And in a tournament that's not very forgiving at all with missed opportunities, you know, it's the forward's responsibility to make sure the ball is in the net, and it's definitely something Abby Wambach is going to have to work on. Because I know she can do it. As a matter of fact, she has scored more international goals than anybody, men's or women's, in history. So I know that she's more than capable of getting her scoring touch back. But it is a little bit of a concern seeing her struggle, especially yesterday against an Australia team that isn't quite up to the caliber of the U.S. team. At least not yet. I think Australia will be a power in the future, an even better team, but yeah, it's a little bit of a concern. But then again, Abby Wambach isn't the youngest player out there, but she definitely is more experienced, and I definitely think that experience will make her into a much better player in the tournament. But it's definitely a talking point, and I definitely don't think it's a big deal. At least not right now. It's definitely something that can be corrected in that. But yeah, I was thrilled to see them win yesterday, and I'm looking forward to the Sweden game, and I'm particularly interested in the Nigeria game because Nigeria really took it to Sweden, and if they could do it against a team like Sweden, imagine what they're going to do against the U.S., and I'm kind of excited to see about that. But it's definitely 2 games that I see the U.S. winning, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk either. I think Sweden and Nigeria are going to give them a tough time, especially since this is a group of death, and it is for a reason, because Australia, Sweden, and Nigeria are talented teams alongside the U.S., so hopefully the U.S. doesn't come in there thinking that they're going to win in that. They just got to go out there and make sure that they get to bury those opportunities in and strengthen up their defense a little bit. The defense was particularly a little bit shaky against Australia in the first half, but yeah, with a few corrections in that, I think they're going to be okay in this tournament. I definitely, like I said before, I think they're still going to top the group, and I'm just thrilled to see what these ladies are coming up with. This has already turned out to be an exciting tournament so far, and I'm looking forward. There's a lot of firsts in this tournament. I know first African woman to score a hat trick in the World Cup, first African team, which is Cameroon, to win an opening match in the FIFA World Cup. So this has definitely turned out to be a memorable tournament so far, and hopefully that continues. And hopefully it'll be much more memorable with a U.S. World Cup win. But I don't want to look too far ahead in that because they haven't even made it out of a group yet. But I'm fairly confident that they're going to be able to correct all these mistakes in that and cause some noise in this tournament. And but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts about the game. And thank you for watching this. If you have any thoughts and opinions or anything like that, if there's anything you feel about the U.S. team that I didn't cover, or anything that they could have done against Australia that they should do better against either Sweden or Nigeria, please feel free to leave a message on the bottom of the description. And that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you for watching this, and tune in again next time, and hopefully it'll be a much better game out of the US against Sweden. So again, thank you for watching, and see you guys again next time.